Hello, my fellow weirdos. I am getting ready to bleach my hair because I'm going to make it green and like a darker green, like an enchanted forest juniper kind of green. It's what I'm hoping it turns out. And red. And after I get that done, I'm going to just the bleaching done. Then I'm gonna go out while it's drying. It's sunny out, and I'm going to finally get those daffodils planted before the first frost comes. I mean, it's cool out here, but it's sunny finally. So before the frost comes, I've got to get those daffodils in. But that's not why I'm making this video. I didn't get to sleep till like 1:32, and it's like 9:30 now. I've been up since about, I don't know, 7. But I have some amazing news. Those of you who have watched me for a while, oh, there's Mr. Pants back there. We can quietly stalk him while I'm talking. Hi, baby. Anyway, y'all have heard me saying how they're gathering like tomorrow at DC, but next week on the 22nd is the culmination of, I think it's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, something like that, next weekend. And I have been having not a want, I want to get to DC. For months, my gut has been screaming at me. Some of you might not understand what I'm saying. Some of you will definitely understand. My gut has been screaming. Every time I see something about another, protest, or almost continually now in DC, when I see one of those for months, my gut was like, you have to get to DC. Judy, you have to go. You have to figure a way to get there. Now, with the last election money from the election in June, in July, I bought the handmaid's uniform and those inflatables and some of the other things, that light cape, which I haven't done yet, but I'm going to try tonight. It was just so windy the last 2 nights. It'll blow if I do it outside where I set up my tripod when nobody's around, and you can see the cape and the gloves. So that's coming up. I'll be, hopefully, if it's not windy tonight, it looks like we should be able to get that done. And it has to be at night. But I also want to get out there and do a video of handmaiden, but I need to hem first. So the night thing will go first. But I have had this need, not even a want. My gut will not shut the F up. And when I've said it, there's some groups on Facebook right now that's just get to DC. I mean, we are the flood. I mean, it's all about the things going on at DC at the different times and getting there. This one on the 22nd, if you're at all able to get there, because this is going to be fucking huge. And I say that with no kidding around. There were some people that would jet over, fly, that could afford it for something. It's great if you can afford it, but there's a lot of us who can't. And there's a lot of us who don't have transportation of our own. Well, that causes a bit of a problem, because even if you don't want to drive down, you still have a car that you could take a train or have, you know what I mean, type of thing. You've probably seen it. It's called Remove the Regime. Next week, and the culmination is the 22nd. So I've been for a week in those groups begging, and I will put my pride, some of my pride. like that vanity, that just, and I straight up told them, I only get $1,100 a month from Social Security. That's not something that most of us want to admit, but the way I look at it is, that's not a failing on me that I'm poor. I should be at least getting minimum wage. I'm getting half of minimum wage. Most minimum wage jobs pull in after taxes and shit at least 2,000. I'm not even getting that. And they're eligible for food, for SNAP and housing vouchers, and that's all I get. And I just put that story out in a couple of the groups about getting to DC, because they're doing buses this time, ride shares. People have been donating, just like through Fear and Loathing Closer to the Edge group on Facebook. He did this. People would donate, and then they had a list of people that wanted inflatable costumes to protest in. And a lot of these people, they just don't want their face, because they have clients or they're in the mental health field, and it's just kind of hard to do your job when somebody knows your political stance. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that they're embarrassed of it. It's just, it's not going to be helpful for the people they work with. So, and I get that. And he was, every time, he didn't say where, to what person or anything, but he's like, oh, he had a whole list when he started ordering them and sending them to the different people. Blue Gloss Oxalotl, because of course they couldn't do a frog for everybody. So he's like, he said on the little forum, let us know if you just want a frog or if you'll take anything, type of thing. And there was just hundreds. You'd see just lists of these different, showing the costume, and that it went to like Wisconsin, or trusting that these people are using them for protests, not just for Halloween. Well, they're doing that with the buses, because they started that when they had this scheduled. A lot of people wanted to go like me, but they didn't have the money to get there. And I'm in Jersey. I'm only 4 hours away. Buses going from like North Carolina, they're paying $150 a seat. And it was 75, but it went up to 85. And a gal asked me where I was in Jersey. She wound up being maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes from me. But she still isn't sure if she's going, because she didn't want to really just be alone without knowing she'll have a buddy, and just depending that she'll find somebody on the bus to hang with. So another girl, another woman, same first name, your funny universe, she asked me also, because the one said, I'm not sure if I'm going or not. So the another one says, where are you? And I told her. And she said, if you can get, she goes, how far are you from that place, Montclair? And I was like, about 30 minutes. And she goes, well, that'll be she goes, if you can find somebody to get you to the bus before it leaves at 6 a.m., 5:55, and you're sure, because I don't want to buy you if I don't know you were able to get home at midnight, 30 minutes away. I had bank fraud when I was actually working on the election that day. And when you open a claim a few days later, because my voice was gone after the election, when you file a claim, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to credit back. I wasn't expecting it for another week or something. I figured it'd be too late, because the bus might fill up. And I said, and I get my election money on the first week of December, but, I don't know if anybody that I can borrow, all that money from. I would use it all for that. And she says, if you can be sure you have a way there and a way back. I'll buy your seat. One of the girls local from the Visibility Brigade, she was actually the very first one that picked me up to go to my very first visibility bridge. And she has a brother-in-law that has esophageal cancer, and different family and friends are going over, and hanging for several days each, shift-wise, to help her sister out. And so she says, you know what, I'm coming back on the 21st. I absolutely will be able to pick you up and get you to Montclair that early in the morning. She said, but there's no way I can get you home with that time. I was like, you're an early morning person. She goes, absolutely. That's why, even though I get home the night before, she goes, I know I'll be able to get you there because, I'll be up. And I was like, oh my God, all I had left was the return trip. A little harder because it's late at night instead of super early. And for days I've been trying to figure that out. And yesterday I checked the bank and it credited them. And I messaged her because she had messaged me a few days ago on Facebook Messenger saying, let me know. Because there was like 18 seats left on the bus. And I'm like, fuck, it's going to go fast this week. I knew that. This weekend and like Monday or something, when people know for sure they're able to go, the seats might go. A lot of the buses from the other states are already filled. So, I checked, and an Uber is about $50, probably $40 to $50, somewhere in that range. And since I had that much from the bank credit thing, I wasn't expecting to get that for another week or so. Last night around midnight, I booked my seat on the bus, and then I booked my my Uber, and then I sent her the screenshots so she's secure in knowing that she's not going to pay for a seat for me, and then I get stuck in the middle of the night, in Montclair. She doesn't want to have that, which I get. She's like, I just want to make sure you have a way to get there and back before I book it. So then she was like, it'd be a lot easier to book because it goes through emails. Instead of asking for your email and everything, if you have PayPal or Venmo, I'll just send it there. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have Venmo. And next thing I see within 5 minutes is 100. She goes, I sent 100 email. She goes, because I think it's gone up now. She goes, but she goes, if you want a cup of coffee or something, there's a couple bucks in there just in case anything. And so I just immediately, I didn't even transfer it into my bank. I just used the little credit card that they give you, digital. And because I've never done that like that before. And it's booked. It's booked, guys. I'm going to be in D.C. next Saturday on the 22nd. Now, the bus is leaving, I think it's like 7, it said 7 or whenever it's over. Because after that, there's speeches, there's handmaiden things, there's all kinds of, like on the day before, some of the handmaidens, they're taking them into, like some of the congressional offices, some of the people, and like you can't have your costume on, so there'll be some handmaidens outside the door watching people's gear and just wearing your clothes that you're in on and going and so the big, like the handmaiden march, I believe, is by the flare set up, 10, and I think that is on Saturday, on the 22nd, which is what I wanted to do ever since I've seen the handmaiden, the National Handmaiden Army there several times. I've just been like, I need to do this. I can't get on a regular basis to the New Jersey Handmaid Brigade, because it's like an hour and a half south of me or something like that. And I can't do that on a monthly, every other week kind of thing. Because I've been the only handmaiden. I wear the protests and the bridges. I've never been at a protest. I saw a picture of the Morristown protest, and the one gal she didn't even, I think she did, I'm not sure if she even had the wings, but she only had like, just, you could tell it was handmaiden idea, but I didn't see her there when I was there. So really I've been the handmaiden, the lone handmaiden all this time. And it's gonna be awesome to be with my other handmaiden sisters that are resisting. And I don't know if some of you understand. I know some of you are like, big deal. For some of us, it is a big deal. And last night, after I sent her the things, she messaged, best $100 I ever spent. And I burst out crying. I'm like, somebody helps me get to a protest, a national protest, and then they say it's the best money they've spent. That just makes me feel like she saw something in me and that had to help me in my journey. And some of you will understand, but some of you won't, how much that means to me. This is a person that is in another state. And a few people as well as her were saying, it's just how somebody's so dedicated that they're just going to keep asking anybody every week. I'm like, so does anybody know if they're going, if I can catch her? I mean, I'm like that with everything in my groups, to try to get to little, like the non-regular protest type of stuff, the little pop-ups and the overpass things. And the only way, if you don't have a vehicle and you don't have expenses enough to be just, pay for rides everywhere, that's the only way to get it done. And it's not really giving up pride. It's the false pride that I don't want people to know, like I was saying, that I'm poor or I get below poverty level. You know what? The fact that I'm making it on that's me doing it. Me being in that situation is not my fault. Social Security was supposed to be able to at least keep up with the minimum cost of living. And it's not even at half the cost of living. That's not a fail on me. That's a fail on the system that pillaged it decades and decades ago, never paid it back, so it could garner all that huge interest every year. That's how it was supposed to work. But if the money's not returned there, it's not getting interest, and you're getting the fund lower and lower. That's not a me thing. And when I realized that's not a you thing, that's not a failing of you, that's a failing of society, because I make sure to say, I'm on Social Security, and that's what I am given to live on. And once I did that, it was easy to say, yeah, hey, it's me again. Still poor, still no ride. Anybody going to this? I'm intense, but I promise I won't talk all the way there, type of thing. Make it funny. And I'm going to be in DC on the 22nd with the Handmaidens. And it still feels surreal to me. I'm just, I did it. I I didn't give up, and universe provided. And man, I did not give up. I'd even say, I know you're getting tired of seeing these posts. Sorry, but I really need to get there. So, let me know if you're gonna be in DC on the 22nd. I've got 4 power banks, and I'm gonna make sure they're fully charged. I've got extra phones that aren't like usage like older phones, but they're, so I'm gonna have those charged to make sure I can take videos and pictures on them, and then I can just transfer them. And if you're gonna be there, let me know. If you can't get there because, and you want to be there but you can't because of finances or traveling, for traveling and stuff, it's not impossible. Everybody out there is donating if they can to get those of us who can't afford it but are able to go, to get us there. So those of you helping me on this trip, you know who you are. If you see this, you were used in a miracle as far as I'm concerned. And I'm incredibly grateful and so excited. If you can afford it and you can't actually go yourself, think about going to some of those groups and seeing if anybody needs help, that you can maybe buy them a bus seat. Because there's a lot of people like me who they just feel they have to get to DC and protest that orange, oafish rapist, pedophile, and make sure that you are part of that voice. And those of us who feel that way and can't get there because of finances, because no travel, you don't have a car, you're not close enough, and you can't afford the travel to get there, consider helping somebody who has the time to get there. They just don't have the finances. And I guarantee if somebody's asking for help to get there, you'll help them. And I guarantee they're going to be this grateful too. When something is out of reach, financially for you, and it's something really important, when you're able to finally go, it's very hard to express it. But thank you, Laura. Thank you. And I really hope we find each other in DC next weekend, because she's going. I'll have red and green hair. You'll see it before I'm doing it this weekend. And you guys have a great day. It's beautiful. Look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? I actually see the sun. Peace out, guys.